but from here to here, this area is a bit taller than the rest of the area. That's gonna cause problems when they're cooking because that's gonna hit rough side. Paper cut test for Dave up in Bellingham. Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to Get Sharp. I'm Corey and this is where I sharpen your knives. So today I'm going to be working on my first mail order sharpening, which for me is super exciting because it opens up the whole world of business to me. Is it always going to make sense? You know, is it going to make sense for someone in, I don't know, Germany to send a knife to me to sharpen? Maybe. It's a super expensive knife and they see my work, it might be worth it. But in this case, it's a gentleman that lives a little too far to drive back and forth for sharpening. Lives up in Bellingham, Washington, which is, I think I could probably jam up there in an hour and a half on the weekend. And he sent me 3 knives that he needs sharpened, and he needs them done quick because he doesn't have a lot of knives. And this thing he uses every day. This is a Lamson, an 8-inch Lamson Sentoku cleaver. And what Dave, the owner, loves about this, so he can chop all his veggies up and then just scoop them up, drop them where he needs to drop them. Probably into a saute pan, and probably from there onto a plate. So this is a multi-utilitarian knife. Someone better check my grammar on that one. But yeah, pretty cool knife. I did a little research on this. Let's take a look at our intake or assessment sheet. So our customer is Dave M. He's the owner of a Lamson 8-inch Sentoku cleaver. This is made out of 12C27 high carbon, high chromium steel. The current edge angle as it came into the shop, the left side's got 13 degrees and the right side's 21. So I let him know his desktop countertop sharpener might be a little broke. Noticeable defects. The cheek's got a few little corrosion spots, and we have some minor chips on the blade, which almost every knife that comes in here I find a chip. Next up, J.A. Hinkle's 7-inch Sentoku. Type of steel, we're assuming 440C or X50CR MO V15. I can't find a definitive answer on the type of steel that Hinkle's is using, but this is what the internet thinks it is. Current edge angle, 15 on the left, 12 on the right, which is interesting. Opposite of what we had on the other one. Handle, 3 cracks in it. So we got photos of those to send him. They were there, they've been there. Minor cracks, chips, and I meant chips on that one is 2 minor chips on the edge. And then last, but certainly not least, the same exact knife I just showed you, but smaller, 5.5 inches, same type of steel. What we're gonna do, we're gonna go 20 degrees. Because all the forums looking for what does this manufacturer put on it out of the box, everybody says 20. Take that back, everybody says 18 to 20. We're gonna go with 20 because I used AI and it said, hey, what should I do? It said 20. We're doing 20. J.A. Hinkle's, out of the box, 15 degrees on this knife. This one, same thing, but I'm gonna do 12 degrees because I have a feeling that's a sweet spot for these Hinkle knives. So I let my customer know, let's go 15 on this one, let's go 12 on this one. You have identical knives with the exception of size. Let's see which one lasts longer. You know, and which one you like better. And then when we have, oh shit, whoops. Well, Dave, I just smacked your fucking edge on here. Don't worry, I'll grind it down. And I don't see anything worse than what was, but yeah, my bad, bro. Sorry, that's embarrassing. Don't even remember where I was at, but when I follow up with him for our 12-month follow-up for sharpening, we'll have records of what we did, and I'll just be like, hey, which one did you enjoy more, the little one or the small one when it came to slicing, dicing, and chopping? And he'll choose one, and I'll say, hey, we just copy the edge angle on that, do it again on both. That's the game plan. First things first, we need to get our Tormek up and running. And while this stone's soaking, I didn't pre-soak today, but I got something else to tell you about that's super friggin' cool. And that's this right here. A 3-inch Asher drop blade. If you haven't already, like 2 videos ago, sharpening customer Damascus blades and super steel pocket knives, that video. Hopefully I froze long enough there. Guy's super cool, man. Definitely like made me feel I'm doing the right thing, investing my time and energy into this. Let me tell you why. He tipped me generously when he came. He gave me almost 50% more than I asked, or doubled what I asked, right? And you know, it was so cool. And then, you know, he reached back out and said, hey, I have another knife for you to sharpen. Can I swing by after work? Absolutely. His job's kind of demanding with him having a flexible schedule, so they rescheduled on him a couple times. And he texts me and says, hey, you know what? I'm just going to tell you what's up. I don't have a knife for you to sharpen. I have a knife to gift you. I'm so impressed with what you did on those super still blades. I just want to gift you one of the Ashers. And this was his first Asher knife, which is like, you know, could I give away my first titanium knife? Could I give away any of, you know, even my SOGs, you know? I thought about it. I was like, dude, I should just leave my SOG auto in place of this. And it was so friggin' hard to get a hold of at the time. But I'm gonna make it up to this guy. What a cool guy though. He gifted me this. And that's gonna lead us into another discussion in a little bit about, do I pay taxes on this gift? Stay tuned in to find out, because I got the answer for you. Okay, we got a little knife, we got a big knife, and we got a bigger knife. Those Hinkle knives are gonna go quick. Let's go ahead and bang out this little one. I'm gonna be doing the same thing that I did for Jaeger, for Dave this time. So I'm gonna film the process. And when I'm all finished with these knives, I'm gonna ship them back to him. We're gonna edit the film, and potentially the same day he gets his knives, I'm gonna provide him a link so he can watch the sharpening process. How cool is that? All right, what do we say on this little guy? 12 degrees, pencil. Okay, we're going 12, Let's get, I don't know if this is in frame over here. Oh yeah, it is. All right, we took the profits from the last couple of weeks and reinvested them into the business. We have the MB102 multi-base knife jig and the Tormek XB100 horizontal base. Why do you need a horizontal base when you have a T8? You're gonna find out soon. And Let me tell you real quick why I got this. Jaeger, you're the reason why I bought this and your super still knives. I feel like I can elevate my honing process on the leather wheel if I'm able to have a precision angle. Freehanding it, I freehanded yours, and it was a lot of like just strain on my shoulders, just trying to keep everything perfectly shaped or perfectly angled. And I'm like, gosh, I really wish I just had this on the other side so I could just, you know, hone the edge that way. Well, now we can. So, Jaeger, thank you for the business. You know, you covered literally, your business covered about half of this tool here. Best part is, one-time purchase. I'm gonna have this the rest of my life. Same with this guy, and you'll find out what this is for in the future. All right, stone is soaked. Hopefully that damn camera's not overheating. I should probably just set up a fan on it and just have a fan blowing on it. In fact, maybe I'll just pause the video and do that now and see if we get some extra air time. Be right back. This is kind of hilarious. I have a 2-foot fan, like a box fan, but this one's circular, under the camera blowing air up right now to try to keep that thing cool. Come on, Sony. I know I'm shooting in 4K at 60 frames, but like, I don't know. Make us a heat sink we could slap on the back, you know? That thing could be friggin' 3 foot long. I don't care. Maybe I'll need to hook up. I live in Mukilteo, Washington. That's where this business is here right now. There's so many machine shops. They're all contractors for Boeing. Maybe I'll have to sneak in there and find a young guy that's up for the challenge and make me a wild and crazy heat sink for this damn camera. All right, back to business. Loosen this guy up. And what I say, 12 degrees? 12 degrees. $15, $14, $13, and $12. And the little bars, probably bring you guys in for a close-up here, but every degree is represented by a line. And each one of those lines has a thickness of about 0.5 millimeter. So what I try to do, I'm attempting to line up just below 12. So I guess that would be 13.95 degrees. And then when I go to the honing, I'm gonna go, I'm sorry. Right now I'm lining up for 11.95. Then when I go to hone, 12. Lit just slightly steeper. That's gonna help me ensure that I'm ripping the root of the burr off. So much useful information on the internet about this process, you know, the knife nerds and all those fun forums we're a part of. All right, Dave M. I got the murder ones out. First person to explain to everybody what murder ones are in the comments. You get a free knife sharpened. Alright, let's go ahead and get to grinding. Actually, let's clean this stone up a little bit real quick. A lot of super steel on this stone. Woo. Whoops. And Dave M, you're probably watching sharpening for the first time ever. What I'm doing right there, I've been sharpening a lot of knives lately, and all the metal from those old knives got stuck on this stone. And might have made the stone a little bit uneven. So with that, that plate has a bunch of little diamond chips on it. It takes a layer off of this. Just like, kind of like if you're, how do I put it? You have a sunburn and your skin's peeling. I just peeled off that dead skin. And since you're a paying customer, I'm gonna throw out the water and follow my strict protocol, which demands perfection. Okay. Hopefully you caught yesterday's episode. Jesus. Before I talk about yesterday's episode, about 2-3 weeks ago, I switched over from Microsoft Clipchamp, which is kind of like a editing software, you know, a 5th grader could figure out in a couple hours, to Adobe Premiere Pro, which I think people will probably go to college to understand all the intricacies with it. And during editing, the goddamn program crashed on me 3 times. Sometimes you can reopen, it's like, okay, at least I'm where I left off. I had 2 times where I had to start over from the beginning. And then I go, finally, it's like 10 o'clock, and I'm like, okay, I can get some food and get to bed pretty quick. I go to export. Export is, I get an error on exporting twice. Finally do it 3rd time, no error, upload it to YouTube, schedule it for this morning, goes up. Tell Tanya, hey, go watch that video. Maybe it'll help trigger the algorithm or whatever. She jumps on to go watch. She's like, it's 13 seconds long. What is that? I'm like, oh, God damn it. It's the, you know, it had an error and I didn't realize it. So get home. All I want to do is just jump on Dave's Knives, but gotta get that video up, you know? So it's been an hour updating NVIDIA graphics driver, updating Windows, reset, computer restart, clearing all the cache. We'll keep going on and on and on. Eventually it worked. I just uploaded that like 30 minutes ago. And this guy's dead. Chinese vapes, they're about to be memories. They are no longer legal in the state of Washington. But whatever's left is, you know. Really a bummer too, because they were super effective and tasty. I've been on nicotines probably since I was born. I don't know about you, but I grew up in a... My parents didn't smoke, but my grandparents and my great-grandparents smoked. And they used to hotbox the house. And on my dad's side. And my aunts and uncles. Like, my parents were the only ones that didn't smoke. My dad used Copenhagen, and my mom was on the gum. They smoked. They just didn't like smoke when I was alive. I think my mom picked it up when I was like 16 again. Caught her a couple times. But anyways, my point is, I've been on nicotine essentially my entire life. One of my teachers in 2nd grade called my parents, letting them know she thinks I'm smoking. Luckily, my parents already knew. They were like, no, he just spent all weekend at his grandma's house and probably wore the same shirt to school. That's how bad it was. I didn't know any better. And I remember as a kid, the smoke, you know, my grandma always said it, they had kind of a unique layout of their home, and there was the kitchen, and imagine this is the kitchen right here, you know, fridge right here, sink, stove, pantry, and then right here was a bar. And a living room behind us, another living room. That way, we sat at this bar because on top of the refrigerator was a TV. My grandma, she couldn't move a lot because of her back and shit. So she'd be sitting there smoking, and I'm sitting to her right, and that smoke would chase me. No joke. And then I'd be like, the smoke. Like, well, come sit on the other side. And I'd go sit on the other side, and her ashtray's on her right side. No joke, that smoke would quit going the way I was and start coming this way towards me. Good people, they didn't know any better. This was in the late 80s, early 90s. But I guess what I'm doing is I'm justifying my nicotine addiction right now. I'm sure a lot of you all can relate. I love nicotine, I won't lie. How we cope. Okay, we're making a little bit of progress here. Still got some more grinding to do because the heel's not looking so hot. So it looks like we might have a lot of grinding to do. But yeah, I'm really excited for this mail order sharpening because it's like, holy cow, like someone in the world sees value here, you know? How many other people in the world might see value in me sharpening? I could get 100 knives a day shipped to me, and I promise you, if that's the case, we're gonna have Tormek systems from wall to wall, wall to wall. And I'm just gonna be an instructor, teaching people. How cool would that be? That is the American dream. Came off my guide there. All right, y'all can quit looking at me for a minute and I'll bring you in closer. Yeah, jerkiness. I'm like sliding, I'm like, It's my jig stop. Take some of this stuff here. I hate doing these product endorsements. Prime line, powder graphite lubricant. Now, it's a little too windy to do it on camera, but anyhow, I just blow a tiny bit. Out of the tube. And then once it's out of the tube, I just spread it around. Spread it around. Couldn't they have made this stainless? Then everything would have just slid really well. Back on the old school, I don't even know what they call these things, mods. Might as well. No more geek bars. No more fogger. Still fucking sticky. Don't understand why. We don't have Tanya helping us tonight. She's doing God's work right now. She's making a, you know how you have like those special photo books for weddings and stuff? She's making one of those for Ace. I walked past her a little bit and she's just sitting there in tears. And all I can do is just thank her for doing it, you know? I'm so tired of crying myself. Literally got lucky, man. I got the best wife on the planet. No ifs, ands, or buts. We're lucky. She's lucky too, though, because I'm super chill. I'm not a dick. She's allowed to vote. I'm just playing. I'm playing. I gotta. Oh, I left the Fred B card on here by mistake. That helps me get everything into exposure. If you ever see those hanging around, that's me caring about your experience. Thank you again, Fred B. One of our subscribers that gets more shout outs than anybody. Because he's a smart fucking guy. He gave me some good ideas to improve this show. And I appreciate that. But yeah, I've got a weird sense of humor. A little bit dark in a way. That's the best way I can explain it. Dark and fucked up. But I hope you let your wife vote too. We're just going back and forth here until this last chip is gone. There's one right in the center of the belly. And if you hang in here, once we pivot over to the honing stone, we're gonna dive into taxes a little bit and figure out if I'm paying tax on the gift that Jaeger gave me. And Jaeger, this is no disrespect to you. This is a middle finger to the United States of America. And Yeah, like I've said a million times, I've been in banking long enough to have seen all kinds of stupid shit. And when it comes to taxes, you don't fuck around. And I have heard that you have to pay taxes when you barter. When there's an exchange of goods or services, you're supposed to pay taxes. You have a garage sale, you may need to be paying taxes. Because you are gaining in life. That's the best way to look at it. If you're coming up, think to yourself, do I need to pay tax? And we're lucky now because we've got ChatGPT. We don't need to pick up the phone and call the CPA every time or email them. And then see a bill for that question later on. That's how it used to be, but not anymore. I use AI to give me a kind of general idea of what's going on. And then I make note. And then when it's time for taxes, I let the CPA know, like, hey, I got kind of a one-off here. I had a customer tip me a knife. Supposed value, it's used, let's say $100 to be safe. How do we handle this? All right, remnants of that chip are almost gone. I still see a little ripple. When you're trying to choose what kind of knife to get, and you see a $100 knife, or let's say you see a $50 knife, or let's say you see a $20 knife like this Hinkles here, and then you see a $150 knife. That $150 knife might be worth it, because I have to shave off. I'm chewing off quite a bit of steel to get rid of all those chips. Whereas when you might remember Jaeger's knives, those Damascus kitchen knives, there was a couple chips, but I mean those things were tiny. I ground those off in no time. So his the breadth of the steel, the total health of it is just so minimal. Whereas with these guys, they, if we sharpen these things every year, you might need to buy a new one in 5 years, 3 to 5 years, because it's just going to be getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Plus, why not have some fucking bitchin' knives, I was telling Tanya, it's like, the next natural progression to this sharpening, now that we're, we got a professional sharpening service, we got customers coming in. The next step, obviously, is we got to start making knives. She's like, well, what, like how? So I explained I need a forge or a kiln, those hammers, pneumatic hammers and all that. She's like, oh, no. She's like, how about you just stick to sharpening for 5 years? And then maybe we'll think about it. I was just teasing her. But if I had all the money in the world, we'd be making knives right now. I'd fly out one of the best makers in the world. It'd be like, teach me. When I have some fun. I think that fan's friggin' working. I'm not getting the warnings that I was getting last night. All right, we're gonna have to spend some time on the heel here. Oh, there it is. Okay, I'm gonna let the camera rest for a second. Alright friends, so we're running into a little bit of heel droop here. Hopefully you can see this perspective, but from here to here, this area is a bit taller than the rest of the area. That's gonna cause problems when they're cooking because that's gonna hit down and there's gonna be a gap up here. So I drew this line, just kind of rough and dirty, just to give an idea of what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be spending some more time down here by the bolster or the heel, and just grind down here, avoiding any grinding over here. This part's good. You just want to grind this down some over here. See how that goes? Should probably, actually the whole length of that Sharpie is damn near close to what I need to be focusing on. At least from my perspective here. I'm gonna pull out the calipers and make sure though before I get to grinding. I ran some measurements and did confirm that we do have some heel droop happening here. So let's go ahead and take care of it. You see all the wave is on the right side only. I'm not sharpening anywhere else right now. I'm just going to be switching back and forth. And then once the geometry looks good, we're gonna reset the bevel like this was never even a thing. No one will know. And Dave, if you're watching, you would have never known if you didn't watch this. I'm just teasing you. This is normal. This happens all the time. It's just part of the process. What's up, babe? Huh? Me? What? Come on. Once we get that bell grinder up and going and we're confident on it, we're gonna be able to tackle shit like this so fast. But fast equals undoable mistakes, in my opinion. So I'm in no hurry to jump off the Tormek. It just takes extra time, that's all. Alright, I think we're actually getting pretty close to where I want to be. Just need to focus a little extra tension only on the tip here. The tip of the heel, that is. Okay. Let's go ahead and see about taking a few measurements. I'll try to do it on film. Okay, the very edge of the tip of the heel, 33.23. Come over a little bit, 33.3, so a little higher, and 33.26. That's interesting. So we go low, higher, lower. So we just need to do a little bit more work to set this bevel here, and we're probably good. Come all the way over to the edge, 33.55, 33.45, 32.26. 33.04. Oh, that was actually how I wanted it to read. Higher, lower, lower, lower. Could have just been this measurement on that first run. 33.43. 33.36. 33.12. 33.03. Okay, so that tells me we're good. We've got the geometry that we want. Downward slope. And we just need to make it all look good. Water. And we spill a bunch of water. Right now I'm just gonna try to kind of I'm setting from here to the middle. That's it. And then once we get that done, we're gonna set the entire length of the blade. Time I go a little further. This is just my technique. This is what I've learned to work. You know what I love about the idea of this knife sharpening business? I was thinking about it today. Like, what's the core reason I'm so attracted to this business? And I thought of it today. Self-reliance. I've worked for corporations my entire life. Not my entire life, but my entire career life. And there's a lot of stress that comes with it, you know, the unknown. You're not the decision maker. At any moment, your company could lay off 9,000 people because the number said so. Just happened at, is that Microsoft or Blizzard recently? And all those employees that have a side job, they're not sweating too hard. They have other income streams. I'm doing really, really light work on the tip here. Side still looks a little funky to me. There we go, that just about did it. This goddamn rail, man. I don't know why it feels so fucking sticky. Alright, I'm almost happy, almost happy. All right, I'm happy. Hey Sony, I know you're watching. I've got a 2-foot fan blowing on my camera to keep it cool so I can make a friggin' film. And I just noticed, because of the way the sun's hitting everything, I'm blowing dust all over it, which, that fucking sucks, guys. You gotta fix this. Before I do anything else, I gotta go check the lighting. One sec. Well, that's nice. I'm getting way more efficient with this camera and my exposure settings and everything. Really cool to little details to learn, I guess. My vibration hack continues to prove to be a bit of a bitch in terms of getting these trays on and off. But it's that time. It's time for the famous Japanese bluestone. If I could ask Tormek one question, it'd be hard not to ask about their pricing philosophy. But once I ask the pricing philosophy question, I would ask them, why did you name the SJ250 the Japanese whetstone? Do the materials originate from Japan? Or are y'all just leaning on Japanese proprietary cultural perception to make some money? I don't know. I don't know the answer. That's why I'm asking the question. Yep. We already got Swiss made. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure people would have bought a Swiss whetstone too. But yeah, when it comes to steel and knives, Japan, y'all crushed it. Trying to get all this super steel off of here. All right. This is already set. Let's see, where do we sit? We sit a little lower. We're at 10 and a half. 10 and a half, 11. And then that's 12. We're going for the high side of 12. Hopefully we were grinding at 11.995 or 985. Now we're going to try to be grinding at 12 exactly. The honing, the final apex, 12 degrees. Burr is facing you, which is a little weird because I have a part of my protocol is my last grind is always this direction. So the burr starts on my dominant, my first grind's on my dominant side, but I forgot that step. All right, we're good to go. I'm gonna let the stone just soak for a second though. So I'll go ahead and turn you guys off, let you cool down because you're getting hot. I'm teasing the camera. You know, this might sound kind of corny, but I was just thinking, like, this is a friggin' dream come true. I'm getting paid to sharpen knives. I get to film it and I get to share it with the world, you know? So all you guys that are coming back for the second time, maybe the 20th time, thank you. I mean it. I know I'm not anything in the world of YouTube or the world of sharpening, but I'm having a lot of fucking fun. This is awesome. I'm grateful for this moment right here, right now. So, have my gloves again. That's why we wear gloves. I'm a fucking klutzy motherfucker. Tanya was asking me, are you allowed to cuss on YouTube? I hear other people do it. I don't know. I honestly have no idea. They frown upon it. Notice this? Yeah. We can grind, we can have a set angle on the honing wheel, the leather wheel now. Finally. And no, I'm not gonna spill the beans yet. But I got something planned. Something I haven't seen on YouTube before or the internet. Potentially a first of its kind. I can't even hint at what it is, because if other people that are in the same game I'm in catch on to what I'm about to do, they're gonna get that video out first. Why would that matter? When you get a lot of views on YouTube, it just helps your channel grow, and that's the goal here. Trying to grow the channel. So the more people that watch this, the more people that are gonna be like, yeah, I want Corey to sharpen my shit. He's good at it. And it's not that expensive. I'll spend 10, 15, 20 bucks and ship my knives out over there. And get to watch it on TV. And the more people I have, on this channel, the greater the chances of that. Like, I want to just be grinding all day. 12 hours a day. All right, Mike, it's your turn. All right, Jim, here we go. All right, Claudia. All right, Shaniqua. Back to back to back to back to back to back to back. Big question is, I've always sharpened I've only started sharpening for money, it's been 45 days, I think. So is it gonna get to a point where I'm like, oh, I'm just so fucking tired of this. I don't even want to see another blade. I can't imagine a world where I'm not enjoying sharpening. And they always say, if you love what you do, it's not a job, right? And here I am. It took me a long time to get here. It took me a long time to get to this moment. And here I am, doing exactly what I love to do. Yeah, this is it. This is that moment right now. So again, thank you. Like button. Don't forget about I hate to ask. I hate doing that. But they say you gotta get likes to grow your channel. And I'm not trying to I hope I'm not coming across as corny or disingenuous, because I'm not. This is legit. Anybody that knows me, like, this is it. I made it. I made it. I made it. Not to mention, I got a hot wife. She's one of the coolest people on the planet, if not me. Life is good. Alright, I haven't looked at the blade since I started honing it, because I just kind of have a feeling how long I need to go. And wow, that side's exactly what I wanted. This side's exactly what I wanted. I did make one big mistake, one big no-no. I broke my protocol. I always check everything before I start going. This time I just went going, and I got lucky, because this is exactly what I wanted. I'm just gonna go a couple more times and we're done here. Cool thing about sharpening is Dave was probably cutting onions with this thing a couple days ago, you know? And then I'll ship them out Monday. He'll probably get this back Wednesday, because I gotta mail it to him. We're gonna use USPS, it's the most economical. So hopefully Wednesday night, him and his wife are gonna have like spaghetti or something. They're gonna make their sauce, and he's gonna have to chop up some onions, and he's gonna put this thing through the onions. Probably not this one, but he'll put this thing through some kind of a vegetable, and he'll be like, oh shit. And be able to feel the difference, you know, that he felt just a couple days ago. That's what it's all about. Get sharp. I was wondering, I'm like, is it weird that we get so obsessed with like knives? I don't think so. I think it's like part of our core primal nature to, you know, have a useful tool. And what's cooler, more interesting and respectable than a sharp blade, you know? There's nothing. That's probably the same instinct that drove me to buy a 300-year-old katana. All right, friends, I'm going to do a little finger test here. See if we can feel any imperfections. If we don't, we'll go on to a single cut test. And then from there, we're gonna hit this thing up on a. Might hit this with the kangaroo tail. Okay, I feel nothing at all. Felt like an ice skate, just. No cuts. There have been a few times where I do that and I feel nothing, and I look and my fingers are bleeding. Okay, if I had to guess, this is gonna go well, but you never know. Sometimes the first inch goes well, and then all of a sudden you stop cutting because there's a snag. I'm gonna leave the jig on because I don't want to have to reset it, but I should get a good enough idea regardless. What's the best angle? This way, or kind of at an angle? Maybe at an angle, huh? This thing's, I can hand this to him now. The burr's gone. I can hear it. It slices so cleanly. But it's not a good idea to just assume that it's perfect. We're gonna go ahead and throw the good old green. I don't know. I'm trying to remember what goes best with the Hinkle knives. Something's telling me kangaroo tail. But I think the front universal support bar is kind of swaying me to do it over here. But at the end of the day, it's not about me. It's about doing the right thing for my customer, and that's the kangaroo strop. If there is any remaining wire edge on here, that'll knock it off. And I'm gonna have to move the camera just a tad, I think. Get some nicotine real quick. I think this is a different type of nicotine. Those Chinese ones are like salt nic, so just a little hit, you know, works a lot better. Where these ones, it's good old fashioned, just regular old nicotine. So you need to take in a bit more of it to, you know, get the effect that you're used to. This is blueberry muffin or blueberry donut. It's crazy. Tastes like a fucking blueberry donut. Where's fucking Marie Callender's chicken pot pie? Where's pot roast? Where's the Big Mac? Fish fillet. Be smoking on them savory ones if they had them. All right, enough of that. Rough side. Thinking about getting one more kangaroo tail, and this one's raw. There's no compound, there's no nothing on it, it's just straight up raw. Thinking about getting one more for the diamond compounds. Oops, fuck. Hate to do that, just a little nick, but this thing's sharp. You need to be very deliberate with your movement because you don't want to cut this thing. It's not super expensive, but I'd like it to last a couple of years if I could. Let's go to the soft side. Beautiful. I'm happy. Gonna come back to the U-line paper. That's straight down. Yeah, this thing's sharp. Let's do a cigarette paper test for Dave. Bellingham Dave. All right, Dave. I'm gonna assume you don't know, but what I just cut right there was U-line paper. It's like magazine paper. It's kind of thin. Printer paper is actually it's a little bit more rigid, so it's pretty easy to cut, you know, and knives look sharp when you cut through it. Magazine paper, it being thin, it's very easy for any imperfection in the blade to get hung up and prevent the cut from happening. Cigarette paper is twice as thin as magazine paper. So if there's any imperfections, we're gonna run into them right now. I just don't think I'm gonna be able to get the camera to focus on the paper. Well, maybe. There you go, my friend. You just got you own one of the sharpest knives in your city. And I can guarantee you there's no burr on this thing. So this edge is gonna last. I'm gonna do one more close up for you and then we're done. A paper cut test for Dave up in Bellingham. Got a little excited on that cut. There you go, my friend. This blade is ultra sharp. All right, guys. That's it for the first of Dave's 3 knives. This thing is fucking... See that? I just cut the air. Yep. Hey, please, do me a favor. Stab the like button, slash the like button, and don't forget to subscribe because I've got a lot of videos coming up. And if you're enjoying this long form sharpening content, my wild political tax rants and all that, like, jump on board. Let's spend some time together. All right, guys, I'll look forward to seeing you on the next one. Have a good night. Bye.